everybody, it's Lisa from Sutton's Days. Today we're going to cover a couple pantry tips and tricks. I had intended to get back to you earlier this week and I apologize. Life and heat. Very hot. Just too hot for videos. So I have my handy dandy notes here. So I'll apologize ahead of time for glancing down every now and then. What I wanted to go over today was some tips and tricks for your pantry. We're near the end of this series now. We're near the end of the month, and so there's only a few more videos coming out. And this is one that I thought that was important before we get to the end. So these are just a few things, maybe 10 things to consider when you are building your pantry, when you have your pantry, what to do with your pantry. Okay, so number one is to remember that keeping a well-stocked pantry is kind of like saving money. It's a skill. It's something that you need to learn. Okay, so you're not going to know it all right off the bat. It's something that you're going to build, and the more that you do, the more that you learn, the more that you acquire, the better that you get at it. Okay, I don't know about you, but saving was never one of those things that we did. Okay, and by we I mean me, growing up, that kind of thing. So it was something that I still struggle to learn with. But when it comes to the pantry, for some reason this is a very simple task for me. So when I have an opportunity to build my pantry, I grab it, because to me that is money in the bank. That is money that is not going to be spent foolishly. And I am the queen of spending foolish money. Okay, so it's a skill. Just keep that in mind, that it's something that you're not going to master right away. Maybe you will, but it is something that you're going to develop, you're going to learn, and you're going to become very good at. I know you will. The second thing is to be content with what you have. I mean, if you're starting off with very little or nothing, be content with that. Everyone started somewhere. Nobody walked in and had walls of food and jars and dehydrated stuff and freeze-dried stuff. Nobody started with all of that food. Everybody started with a few cans of tuna. Okay? So be content with where you are, and understand that as you develop that skill, you are going to get much, much better at it. So don't let pantry envy get you too much. And I know it can be difficult, trust me. The next one is, I think, kind of a simple one, but you never know. Never turn down free food. If somebody offers you free food, even if you think you don't have time to deal with it right now, that's why we have freezers. Okay, stick it in the freezer until you can deal with it. Kind of like the tomatoes that we have, kind of like the peppers that we have. I don't have time to deal with it right away, so I'll stick it in the freezer and I'll deal with it when I can. But I am never going to turn down free food, and you shouldn't either, unless it's obviously something that you are never, ever, ever going to use. Okay, don't turn down free food. I think that's a pretty simple one. Don't let pride take over. Don't ever do that. Building your pantry should be your number one priority as far as food goes. Okay, it should be your number one priority to make sure that you can build up a good, safe stock of at least a few months worth of food. So pride has no room there. It really doesn't. You want to make sure that you stay organized. Organizing your pantry is a task, and we fall behind on it. We really do. There are times where we just get so busy that we just kind of toss stuff in there, and then I'll go back and I'll look a few months later and go, well, why did I do that? Why did I do that? And then we kind of stop and organize and start over again, and there we go. Being organized is also taking inventory, and we took inventory to see where we were, what we went through the most of, what we need more of, what we need to make less of. Okay, so that's part of being organized. That's part of being prepared. So you need to make your pantry a priority. Every aspect of your pantry, no matter what it incorporates. If it's only food, make that a priority in your life. Make that a priority in your day. Okay, if it's everything from toilet paper, you know that that's a priority in my world, right? So you have to make those things a priority. And if it's a choice between a couple of frivolous items that I wanted to pick up, or a really great sale that I saw on chicken, I'm going to get that really great sale on chicken because I know that's going to go into the pantry and I know that's going to get us through the winter and possibly longer. So make it a priority. Make your choices based on the fact that building your pantry, whatever that entails, is a priority. Pardon me. The really great thing about getting your pantry built, when you get your pantry built, even if you're only halfway there, even if you're only a quarter of the way, trust me on this one, is that as you get into this, doing a weekly shopping trip really doesn't. It's not a necessity. It's not. Maybe a quick run in like this week. This week we didn't go grocery shopping. I ran in and got some coffee creamer. That's all we needed. Last week, I think we picked up a loaf of bread because the grandkids are here, and a couple of vegetables, I think, and that was it. That's all that we're having to buy because we've made that pantry a priority. So that's a really good side effect, I guess, as a result. Um, the inventory, knowing what you have in there so that you know what to pay attention to. I know that right now, I've got 20, 21, 21, 26-ounce cans of cream of mushroom soup. Now that it's back down to just Phil and I know that that cream of mushroom soup is going to last us 6 months or more. So because I know that that's in there, I know that that's something that I don't have to pay attention to, pardon me, um, unless it becomes like a really ridiculous sale. And then I'll stock up on more and start using it on a more regular basis. But know what's in your pantry. The inventory is very, very important. Know that I mean, I hate to go against recommendations. I really do. Because they're there for a reason, because not everybody um, does things exactly the same way. I'm going to find the best way I can to explain this. So, when the powers that be determine that a jar of home canned food, whatever it is, okay, uh, is only good for a year, only good for two, uh, I have to sit back and go, okay. I know people that have home canned food that has been sitting on their shelves for 3, 4, and 5 years. 5 years is pretty much where I would cap off that. But they're keeping track of it. They're rotating their stock. It's in optimum conditions, right temperature, no light, that whole thing. They're very cognizant of what they're doing, how long it's been there, and how it's going to rotate out. As a rule, it'll be a very long time before I have anything on my pantry shelves for 5 years, short of flour maybe, and we'll see. But pay attention to how long it's on there, and if it's properly stored, if you store it the right way with the optimum conditions, it can be there for a very long time. Okay? We'll just leave it at a very long time and call it good. Probably the number one, and we touched on it just now, the number one thing to make your pantry effective is to make sure that you rotate your food. Make sure that you use the oldest date first, okay? Nothing, nothing will waste money and destroy all your hard work faster than not rotating your food. Nothing can cause illness quite the way that not rotating your food can do. It is so very, very important to rotate your food. So make sure that you've got that set up to do. Make sure your things are dated. Make sure they're dated. If it's store-bought stuff, then it's already got a use by date. I don't go by best by dates. Okay, so you make your choices there. Do a little searching and research on it. But if it's home canned or home dried or anything else like that, date the day that you do it. Date the day that it is preserved and that you put it on your shelf. And then you pay attention and you watch and you make sure that you're aware of what's there and when. Okay, that's just, rotating is so very, very important. I can't stress that enough. Um, I guess the final thing is, and this kind of goes back to the number one thing, with never turning down free food, is to only stock what you and your family are going to eat. If you and your family are not fond of beans and rice, Don't stock beans and rice. What a waste of money. I mean, that's just horrible. So you need to stock the things that you know you're going to eat, that you know you're going to use. Otherwise, you're just throwing money out the door. And that just doesn't make sense for anybody, does it? So stock what you use and and then use what you stock. Okay. It just the best way to make your pantry the most effective, useful tool for saving money and for being prepared. So that's what I've got today for you for the preparedness pantry. I'm sorry I kind of disappeared for a few days there. It was just too hot, just too hot. But the weekend is here, and we're gonna start having a little bit of fun. I've been busy, so everyone, I hope you have a really great night, and we will talk to you again real soon. Thank you for coming along on this journey. We greatly appreciate it. Bye now.